Hi, Johanna.
Hi, Jared.
What are we going to talk about today?
Mentoring.
Tell me about mentoring.
I love mentoring.
Okay.
It's what helps me stay focused and engaged in teaching, and it feels good to have other teachers find success in teaching. I guess that's why we're doing this podcast.
Yeah, it's a big surprise that you like mentoring.
Well, except this isn't how I mentor.
Oh,
You can't mentor by talking at people.
well, I can.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I'm a pretty good talker.
But you know a lot of my students or teachers that I've mentored.
Yeah, I think part of that is part of your strategy.
Yeah,
Okay. I read the outline.
you did.
One of the things is invest in them as a person rather than a teacher.
Yes.
But that's like number 4 on the outline. So what's number 1?
Take the soapbox and break it.
Break the soapbox.
Yes, everything that this podcast is not what makes a good mentor. Don't talk at them.
And then, that's how you teach, though. You
No.
talk at people, and then you
No.
say, I told you what the truth was, and if you had just listened to the truth, you would know it, and then you'd be fine. Just like every
Yes.
other teaching, just like classroom teaching, all teaching is saying the correct thing out loud until other people understand it.
No.
Well, then we don't really need the rest of the podcast. I think we solved it in a minute 37.
Okay, so you're going to get some sort of professional development about how to be a good mentor. And some of it's really good, and some of it is not so good.
That sounds unlike the rest of professional development.
Well, it depends. I mean, I used to provide mentoring professional development, so I would like to think that that was pretty good.
Did you talk at people?
No.
Okay.
I mean, even just like with my classroom, I would like to think that the length of this podcast and the amount that I talk during the day are probably pretty equivalent.
But anyway, step 1 is you're not going to be able to just say what to do.
They've heard 4 years of saying what to do.
Okay.
Of someone telling them what to do.
So if you can't just say what to do, what do you say to do?
So they're going to have you write norms.
Sure.
And they're going to be things that are silly, that don't seem to matter. Like show up to the meeting on time and pay attention and listen to each other.
You're adults, though.
Right. But as adults, sometimes we act the age that we teach. Anyway, so they're going to have things like that. And I think that you need to focus more as a mentor on the unspoken norms. The things that your actions communicate are more important. So,
But those norms sound stupid, so I would say that anything else is probably more important.
okay, so 1, they need to feel like you are their person.
Yeah.
Like you are there to protect them and care for them and look out for them, and you are essentially, even if you're younger than them, you are their school parent. That needs to be unspoken and yet completely true.
It's going to be like Rocky,
I've never seen Rocky.
but it's like Mick.
I don't know who that is.
Mick is the trainer
Oh,
that
okay.
runs the gym that teaches Rocky how to be a good fighter.
Okay.
He's not very nice, but he's like 100% on Rocky's side. Like,
Well, I think you should be nice.
well, okay, you can be nice too, but
Okay.
even if you're not nice, this demonstrates that like I'm your trainer.
Yes.
Like, I know you have to go in that ring by yourself and get wailed on by someone trying to hurt you, just like in classrooms. And then,
Not too far from the truth.
but whatever I do here now is because I'm 100% trying to make that as good for you as possible. And nobody else in the world am I going to be with instead of you.
Well,
in the
but
context
you
of this
might
relationship.
have you might be mentoring more than one person, but yes.
No, but like whatever it is that we're doing together here in this training regimen
Yeah.
is not for me to like share with someone else or use to like evaluate you. It's just 100%. I want you to be the best fighter you can be
Right.
when you go in the ring.
That's key. I'm not here to evaluate you. Yes. Okay. Clearly, you always have their back, 100%. talking to an administrator and they're not there, you are 100% defending them with them, not critiquing them, not evaluating.
Right.
Okay.
Even if they're bad.
Even if they're the worst you've ever seen.
You could tell the administrator, I'm not going to say anything but positive things about them.
Yes.
And I'm not going to, right? Like, don't even ask me, because it's not...
If the administrator says blah, 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 you can be like, yes, that is a goal we are working on. We have made progress. It's not that you're lying to the administrator or saying something that isn't true, but you're not throwing them under the bus.
Like a lawyer.
Yes.
Like, it should be as absurd as the judge asking the defendant's lawyer, well, I mean, are they guilty? That'd be a really stupid question.
Right.
Because, like, the lawyer would never, ever, 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 ever address that.
Right.
The administrator says, well, are they going to work out or anything? 100%, like, it'd be like the attorney-client privilege.
Correct.
Okay.
So, when it is just the two of you, though, you are 100% honest with someone you are mentoring. You are brutally honest.
It's also like me.
But when they ask for that honesty.
Sure.
Right? So, if they ask you a question, you provide 100% honesty. Okay, then the last one is the hardest part, is you want to figure out their vision of being a perfect teacher.
No, you mold them into your vision? That's how you teach people things?
No, you have to find out what their vision is.
That's a lot harder. The best teacher
that's your
is
whole job.
What you think is the best.
No, they can't become a mini you.
Oh, okay.
Even if you disagree with their vision, which you probably won't. It might be different than yours. But your job is to help them become that.
And even somehow, if you were objectively right that your vision was better,
you're still there to help.
They're never going to get there. The best they can do is get to their vision of their best self. Even
if they try, they can't become you. You're you. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, unless you are the exact same person somehow. In which case, then their vision is going to be the same as yours anyway. Right. Okay. So, next, you have to create a way for communication that's very simple. And I use just color coding.
We're going to call these norms.
Okay.
That's our way for communication. We're going to establish norms.
So, is this I call them red zone, yellow zone, or green zone.
No shirt, no shoes, no coaching.
No. But... okay,
don't show up to meetings drunk.
You have to Jared Firehelm.
What? I think the norms thing is silly, but whatever. This sounds like norms, but in a meaningful way.
Okay, so before we even start talking, right? I'm your mentor. You come to me with a problem. You can identify it. Is this a red zone, yellow zone, or green zone? Red zone means you cannot teach 5 minutes from now.
Okay.
Danger, Will Robinson. I do not know what to do. My job as your mentor is to just tell you what to do. Okay? Yellow zone. A lot of times, proteges, mentees will think that something is a red zone, but in actuality, it's a yellow. They can't teach in 24 hours. They can't teach in 2 days. They are going to feel extremely anxious, but you, as an experienced teacher, can step back and say, this is a problem we have 24 hours before we need to solve.
Sure.
Which means you can start to coach them.
Right. They have an opportunity to try and succeed or fail.
Well, you can say things to them like, well, what might be some solutions? Who could we go ask to help us solve this problem? Where might we find solutions for this particular student, right? Red zone, just tell them what to do. Yellow zone, you're helping them you're teaching them to fish. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
Green zone, conversations are for future planning. So when you first start to mentor someone, September, October, and then you'll recycle every once in a while. Those are all going to be red or yellow. Hopefully by November, they're settling in. Now you're having green zone conversations where you're helping them to create those habits and routines that turn them into the teacher they want to become.
That's smart. I'm thinking of like business training.
Don't steal this. Trademark Johanna. This is my thing. Like, this is when I teach mentors how how to be a good mentor, this one thing defines success.
One of the things I've learned was like the difference between coaching and feedback. Coaching is a lot of what you're talking about here, in the need to not just tell people what the answer is, right? Like,
right.
You've got to create the capacity to learn by trying and doing or failing, right?
But you as a teacher also know, as the mentor, if it's November and all you're having still is red zone conversations,
but
it's
key,
time to get that
by
teacher help.
By triaging the nature of the problem, I think it really helps keep the coaching mindset going the right way.
Right. And before ever, they're going to come to you and they're going to be like, blah, 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 blah. And you'll be like, do you feel like this is a red, yellow, or green?
Mm-hmm.
And getting them to identify what it is, it makes every interaction you have more purposeful.
All right.
Okay. So, as you noted in the outline, invest in them as a person rather than as a teacher.
Means go on dates.
No, but kind of, right? Like, a big part of being a successful teacher is not teaching all the time, is making sure that you're creating a work-life balance. You have to teach that to them. And so, I mean, you're used to people that I mentor becoming kind of a part of the family in a way.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know, I incorporate them into the downtime. Now, I will get mentees that they have a very good work-life balance and they didn't need me to teach them this element.
So I only see the ones that are kind of pouring themselves into their work,
or are in danger of pouring themselves into their work.
That makes sense. But I mean, that's a key, like a standard Gallup survey thing is my manager usually cares about me as a person.
Right.
It's one of the key measures of engagement.
Right.
That, like, it's difficult for any type of relationship like this to work for most people. Certain communication styles and certain motivated people don't care if their manager, but the vast majority do.
And teaching's really hard. And that first year or two, it's a killer.
Mm-hmm.
And you need your mentor to teach you how to stop teaching, to how to stop thinking about teaching.
All right, so what do you do?
I include them in any activity my family is doing.
Just be friends, kind of.
Yeah.
Or at least invite them to be friends.
Invite them, and if they turn you down, then that's fine.
Or I assume you talk about going on in their
what
life.
are you doing Friday? What are you doing this weekend? If they've moved into town, helping them find people that they are going to connect to and enjoy, helping them connect with other young teachers. You know, get that ball rolling for them.
All right.
Okay, so next is schedule a consistent time for the actual mentoring. So people avoid mentoring because they think it takes enormous amounts of time.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't if you schedule the time.
Right.
It's kind of like counseling.
Yeah.
If someone's only ever coming to you because they have a problem, you're going to be busy all the time. But if instead you have a routine appointment scheduled, you make more growth during that time and it prevents the triage.
That makes sense. That's a businessy thing too.
And I schedule, so let's say in my particular district, you're required to do so many hours with a person. I will do almost a third of those hours before the first day of school. Because as you've learned from this podcast, the first day of school is the most important day.
Yes, that was the most important day.
So by investing all of the time and energy at the very beginning, take 1 week and just dive all the way in, you really reduce the amount of anxiety and time and attention and reactionary needs.
Right. Less red.
Yes, less red. Think we have to break this into 2 podcasts?
No, there's a lot to edit out, I think.
Okay.
That was a lot of talk about whatever we were talking about.
Yes.
Are we recording the intro to the second part or the outro to the first part?
We're recording the outro to the first part.
Oh, okay. So, depending on how much of my nonsense you cut out, that was...
Did I not have nonsense?
We talked about Norms for a while because
Yes.
he's my favorite Cheers character and such.
So depending on editing, this was a lot of content, and now we
then,
maybe need to break.
And then there's that one bit where Will Ferrell plays Harry Carey and calls Colin Quinn Norm. Is very funny. There's a lot of good Norm content. Anyway, there'll be a second part to this episode if you're hearing this, and then that'll be next week. So enjoy.
Thanks, Jared.
Thanks, Johanna.